Starting off, I got some new UGC accessory variants from a set I dropped a while back, with a couple of new colors for the talisman and the talisman eye patches. Check it out and buy it if you like. We'll be dropping even more hair and accessories in the future for all the manga you want to see, as well as some anime stuff too. So join the group and follow me on Roblox to help me out, and comment down below what you want to see next. Alright, let's get into it. What's up guys, it's Punchy, and today we're here with yet another Deepwoken content update. In this update, there's a lot of stuff happening with the new dungeon, and I'll be focusing on how to start that content instead of further details. The loot from this dungeon and the new oath will receive their own videos coming soon, maybe today if I can, so like and comment if you want to see that. So this will be a smaller update video about the actual content instead of the rewards associated with it. Last week we received a smaller update with a new addition to Erisia enemies with the stone sparks. Although it wasn't as crazy as some of the other monsters, I'm always excited to see new PvE options in game, and recently we've seen a lot. As always, the best way to experience everything new is to hop in game and try it out for yourself. Make sure to like and subscribe so I can hit 115k, and let's get into it. Outside of the game, we got a new merchandise announcement from the Deepwoken team, and honestly, I don't know how to feel. This is kinda cool, but you know, we'll see what happens. The Deep team is pushing out the new Black Diver hoodie, and yeah, it's pretty similar to the armor in game. So let me know your thoughts down below, but if I see anyone walking around representing Deepwoken, that means the game has finally gone mainstream. Comment down below and let me know if you're copping this, cause it is kinda crazy. Dropping today is the new Titus dungeon, and there's a lot here to explore. I'll just show you a brief look into the dungeon, but the loot and rewards aren't going to be in this video. There will be a showcase and in-depth guides about this coming very soon, but here's just a basic breakdown. To enter this dungeon, you got to speak to a new NPC in the Viper's Jaw to obtain the Legion intelligence, and then you interact with a door in Fort Merit. After entering the dungeon, we can fight a bunch of authority guards or sneak our way past, but the main goal is to free the Merit prisoners and eventually fight Titus. These enemies aren't too crazy, but you'll have to find the right ones to obtain the prison release key, and if you want, the laser override code. After clearing out some authority enemies, we can weave through the laser gate and unlock the prison gates, releasing the prisoners inside as well as Titus. After returning and fighting these prisoners, Titus is unleashed, and yeah, he's kinda crazy. This boss fight is honestly super exciting with some complex moves and new abilities, and it feels really fun to fight. Again, I won't be talking in depth about how this boss fully works or showcase most of the loot, and those guys are gonna happen real soon, maybe even later today, but Titus has some insane abilities and even a phase 2, so get out there and check it out. Starting it off with a ton of fun new content, we finally received a new aspect or race in Deepwoken. Seriously, the last couple races that were added into the game were Chrysid and Tyrion all the way back in Layer 2, but we got something new. Teased on the Deepwoken Twitter beforehand, we had some special sneak peeks about the KIRON bat race. They live in caves and are kinda secluded away from society, but let's take a look in game. Before I say anything else, as a disclaimer, this race is rollable for real Robux, so keep that in mind. With the KIRON aspect, this race is clearly inspired by different bats, and there's a lot here to discuss. Talking about the largest bat accessory for this race, we got the massive ears, which are customizable in a few different ways. So if you want the fluff or you don't, that's always an option, but these ears might honestly be the largest race accessory in the entire game. So besides that, with further facial customization, you'll find exclusive bonus bat-fanged mouths to pick from. It's pretty goofy, and I think a lot of people will use them, and they're kinda cool. The Kirons also got a similar treatment when it comes to eyebrows, with a bunch of optional bushy picks here as well. Finishing off with some facial markings, the KIRON also have a ton of tattoo-like markings inspired by real-life bat designs, which you can check out here. I'm a big fan of this, and maybe we'll even get the Sukuna markings up in here in the future. Finalizing the visual customization for the KIRON race, it's worth showcasing every single one of their racial variants. There's a lot here to experiment with, and I think the possible drip is honestly limitless, and I'm excited to try it out. This race has a talent called echolocation that helps the player see through dark areas. It's pretty light and not too game changing, but I think it's decent for progression and overall gameplay. That's about it for Deepwoken's new KIRON bat race, and I'm a huge fan. Let me know your thoughts down below about this, and maybe in the future we'll get even more customizable content just like this. It's worth mentioning that all customization has been improved outside of the new aspect, allowing for more variants for each race. As shown, aspects can now support more than 5 default variants, so we might see more color swaps for each aspect in the future. Besides that, it's now possible to be related in-game to other players that don't share the same race as you. If you make a character at a similar time as somebody else, no matter your aspect, you might be related and a time will show up saying brother or cousin or something like that. Hopping into the game, with even more changes to Erisia, we got the full island revamp with new areas, updates to older spots, the new Jitliangs that roam around, a new trader, and smaller adjustments to slept on areas and different spots. But in this update, Viper's Jaw in Erisia has opened up a small tunnel which boats can pass through. It's pretty small, but I'm glad they're adding more to some of the neglected, forgotten parts of the map. Next up, with some reanimation, it seems like Champion's WHIRLTHROW has been reworked into something a little bit different. So the mantra behaves exactly the same, but from what I can tell, and honestly it's hard for me to spot the differences, this is reanimated. Here's the older version of this move and it does the same spin and fling, and here's the new one. So maybe I'm tweaking, but I barely see anything different here. Maybe it's a little bit smoother, but I don't know. This has been reanimated. Moving on to some cool ally accessibility, let's talk about the map. Now in this update, all allies on the map will be visible to you, and that's pretty good. Before, it was just limited to guildmates, but I'm happy to see that this applies to friends, allegiance members, and people in your Roblox parties, so it's easier to meet up and work with them. Besides this, with an impactful change to base combat behavior, air counter is now base. This has been reworked to activate innately, but the damage has been reduced and jumping no longer triggers the teleport. You gotta be climbing, wall jumping, or in the air with something else to be TP'd to. Air counter, the old talent, has been reshaped into cut to the chase, dealing damage on the TP and uppercutting the enemy after landing an air counter, so it's completely different. Let's get into some balance with a few different highlights that might shake up the meta. I won't mention absolutely everything, but here's some that stood out to me. With a massive change to how tankiness works in the world of Deepwoken, we've seen a giant nerf to Fortitude and the innate health it provides. In the current patch, the bonus HP you get from investing in your Fortitude stat after 50 has been cut in half, meaning those high investment Fortitude builds will have less of a difference from a normal player. At the end of the day, I don't know if I like this change, but it's definitely here to cut down the physical HP stacking players. Another huge nerf that happened today was the hit coming to heavy weapons in PvE. For some reason, heavy weapons now have a reduced armor damage multiplier against giant mobs, nerfing their output slightly. To balance this out, giant mobs now have reduced armor durabilities, but nevertheless, heavy was nerfed in PvE. Revisiting the chef weapons, today there's been further adjustments coming to each of these options. There's been quite a few recent changes to these weapons, and we're back. So anyway, we've seen scaling and requirement changes, and that's kinda crazy. The long tongue of the law now has reduced heavy scaling, and it's been updated to work with mind scaling instead of int or charisma. With the pastry paster and the flippers of fate, each of their scalings has been updated to fit with mind, which works since these were hybrid weapons that had dual split scaling before mind and body even existed. This is cool and it works. Up next, with some buffs to an oath, we've got some updates to SAINTSWORN. So for starters, SAINTSWORN's requirements for the oath have been reduced to 15 points per element, which is absolutely massive, and that's great. Previously, unlocking the oath would be 100 stat points, 20 in each element, but now it's been cut to 60, which is just awesome. With this upside, it's also been balanced out, reducing the base damage of the Saint's Blade, and to be honest, I do think that's fair. Another huge buff came to an oath with Dawnwalker, and this is pretty cool. Radiant Kick, one of the only viable mantras with this oath, is now feintable, letting you mix up against enemies while putting it on cooldown. I think this is pretty fair and interesting for a simple oath with simple moves. Alright, and with that, this week's content comes to a close. As always, hop in the game for weekly battle royale and check out all the new stuff too. Comment below your thoughts so I can leave the devs some feedback, and yeah, let me know what's up. Thanks once again to all the supporters who motivate me daily and directly support the channel. If you want to join as a member, feel free down below, and besides that, my personal Discord, guild Discord, and my UGC group are linked, so check them out. Thanks once again, and make sure to like and subscribe. It's punchin' time.